Our first clip that we're going to look at is our beloved host of MSNBC, Joy Reid, gives her initial thoughts of those people who voted in Trump. Let's take a look at the clip.
In our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friends.
That was Joy Reid giving her thoughts on Trump supporters as the election was getting closer. That was on recorded on November 6th. Listen, if you don't know who Joy Reid is, Joy Reid is just the classic race baiter host on MSNBC. I just think it's ironic where when Trump had the assassination attempt, back in the summer, there were so many Democrats that said, we have got to stop this hateful rhetoric. We need to unify the country. And then there on MSNBC, not only did they this time compare Trump to Hitler, but also Mussolini, also all of the other wonderful people in our history. And they wonder why there's a violence problem but it's not their fault. It's our rhetoric, apparently, that because we are the fascist ones. But that's Joy clip. That is Joy saying what so many of the left believe. The left believes that Trump is Hitler. The left believes that if you follow Donald Trump, you are a fascist. And they also believe that Donald Trump, ironically, is going to use the military and the presidential power to imprison or try to imprison his political opponents. Ironically, that sounds a lot like what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did to Donald Trump. But don't worry, they are not the fascist ones because they are doing it for justice. All right, next we have one of my all-time favorite funny meme clips. Back when Obama was president, and then with the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump election of 2016, Jimmy Kimmel will sometimes do this like mean tweet segments where he has people read these mean tweets. And he had Obama on, former President Obama on the show to read some mean tweets. And at the point, it seemed like Obama came up with a zinger against Donald Trump. Let's watch the clip and we'll react to this.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
Listen, at the time, that's a clever comeback. First of all, I mean, is that not just the most Donald Trump tweet you've ever seen? President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States. Send it. I mean, that's probably just the most Donald Trump tweet out there. And dude, quick-witted Obama. Obama's always been fast on his feet. And he said, hey, listen, at least I was a president. At the time, that seemed like a zinger. But this clip gets better.
A president.
There he is, Donald Trump in all his glory. Oh, that's a funny one. That is a funny one. Oh, all right. Let's go to the next one. There were others that were less than thrilled of Donald Trump winning the election, including CBS's Margaret Brennan. She talks about the average American voter. Let me share my screen and let's watch this together.
any country I have ever covered anywhere in the world, people vote on the 3 feet in front of them and the kitchen table they sit down at every day. And the economic issues are just so fundamental, and the experience of that. And, you know, Nora, you said earlier, maybe we over-focused on grocery prices. I think, you know, Donald Trump campaigns saying he's going to lower the price of bacon. The president of the United States has nothing to do with the price of bacon.
Or eggs, for that matter.
Or eggs, or any of it. But it's promising.
Gas.
I get you're uncomfortable, even though the head of the Federal Reserve and those guys, you don't quite know what they do back in Washington, but they're making your house more expensive because they're hiking up more, you know. You don't get that. You don't get the national number where Joe Biden is telling you, look, inflation is moderating and coming down, but you understand your grocery cart or your gas tank. And that personal experience just seems to be what at least people are using to justify their vote for Donald Trump when they're citing the economy.
Basically, let me sum it up. Let me sum it up for you. You are stupid. You don't know how things work. Yeah, your eggs are really expensive. Yeah, you can't afford to put a roof over your family's head. Yeah, you can't afford to save anything. Our budgets are bleeding red like crazy, but you're stupid. You don't know how it actually works. You don't know how interest rates work. You voted because of your personal experience, but come on, voter, you know that's a really stupid reason to vote. Don't you know better than to vote what's actually happening in front of you? Obviously, the president has nothing to do with economic policies, and obviously anything that Joe Biden put in place would have no impact into our family table or cost of goods or anything like that. Obviously, the inflation had nothing to do with any of the policies that either Donald Trump or Joe Biden put into effect, because the president just can't touch that at all. When in reality, the president and their economic policies do make a difference in what goes down to the cost of goods all the way to your table. But you know what? According to MSNBC and according to CBS, you're just stupid. That's just the average attack. But I will say, at least there's a different attack than just calling me a fascist or calling us a fascist. At least they change it up. Let's keep watching some of the reactions to the American people making a decision that some people here in the media just do not like. Here is a live clip of when Rachel Maddow, also known as the female twin of Mark Cuban, I'll flash the screen up. It's a pretty funny meme. Anyway, she was forced to live call Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. The camera won't even pan back to her as she begins to break down on camera. Let's check it out.
Has a projection to make in the presidential contest in the swing state of Pennsylvania. NBC News now projects that presidential contest has been won by Donald Trump. Now, I believe that means that we are at a 266 electoral vote count for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris had 194 electoral votes. So to be clear here, this is the third of the 7 major swing states that have been called. But Georgia and North Carolina and Pennsylvania, as those 3 states, presents an almost unless there's it presents an insurmountable future here for Kamala Harris and for the Democratic ticket.
Obviously, someone was recording that and talking over that. But there you go, Rachel Maddow. Probably one of the biggest Trump haters out there and Trump supporter haters out there. And ironically funny to force her live after all the hate that she's given to Trump and Trump supporters to read that has got to be tough for her. And she couldn't even finish her sentences.